All right, so here's part two of when mom called the police on me. So this started around September 27th of 2022. Uh, I spanked my daughter. So what ended up happening is that I was barbecuing for the neighborhood and the complex and another family. And so I'm outside of my unit, I'm barbecuing, doing our thing. Kids are out there playing around, doing kid stuff. Once I get done barbecuing, I pack up the food and we're delivering this food to one of the neighbors in the complex. I have a big plate. Ridwan, my son, he has a big plate. My daughter, she has a big plate. So what ends up happening is that my daughter decides that she wants to go out in the streets and she wants to play around. So she jumps in the streets and she starts playing around with the food and she spills it all over the floor, right? All over the ground. And made it unusable. And so I get upset. I tell her, hey, you're in trouble, okay? We deliver the food to the neighbors. We stay there for a little bit. My daughter's in trouble, so she doesn't play. And then afterwards, we come back home. Well, when we come back home, I finish up our discussion. I tell her, like, you know, what you did. Now, when I give a whooping, it's a process. First thing is that we talk about the whooping itself, right? We talk about the problem itself. What did you do? Do you understand what the consequences? Have I told you about this before? If once we get through with that and the answer at the end is yes, Dad, you told me about this before. I don't really know why I didn't listen to you. There's your whooping coming. Your whooping happens. Whoopings, I spank them 3 times. The first 2 times, or one of the times is real light. The other 2 times is just to make a noise, right? Now, this time was with a belt, and she moved, and it must have hit her in her lower back thigh, right around her butt area, lower underneath her butt. After the whooping, we talked about it again. Do you understand why you got a whooping? Do you realize like the consequences of playing in the streets and you know it's not safe, right? That's not a place to play, regardless if I'm next to you or not. Totally understand. I'm good, good, perfect. Everybody done. Whooping's over with. She goes to her room. She starts to play. Now, when you get a whooping, or when after you're disciplined, that is your punishment. You don't get a whooping and you get grounded. You don't get a whooping and things get taken away from you. You got your whooping, and you understand why that whooping happened. Yes, everybody's aware of it. Go play. Now, they don't make a lot of noise when they're playing because they are aware that they just got a whooping, so they don't want to have problems. A couple days pass, time to go to mom's. They go to mom's, and normally my daughter would call me when she gets to her mom's. Right? This is not even, not even exaggeration. She get to her mom's, the next day she's calling me trying to get me to come get her, or calling and check on me. This was a normal thing for her to call me and just to check on me and ask me, can she come home? This is just what she does. She didn't do this week, which made me a little alarmed, but she doesn't do it every single week. So I was just like, whatever. No big deal. Now, what was striking is that my birthday was the following week. Now I knew that mom was going to take kids out of town to San Diego, and that was not a big deal. But my birthday rolls around, and my birthday was on a Friday, okay? And she didn't call me, right? This is very, very unlike her. My daughter, once she found out what a birthday was, you know, she has made it a point to try her best to make my birthdays very special. There's a couple things that she doesn't like about her daddy. One is that I don't eat sweets. That's just not my thing. I don't like candy. I don't like pies, cakes, and stuff like that. She loves them. And I don't celebrate my own birthday. And not I just don't. Right? That's just my thing. But my daughter does. And she's made it a point from years prior to make sure that she makes me something, calls me if she's not with me, spends time with me, for my birthday. And we do very girly stuff or pretty much nothing at all. She's just in my presence. But that was strange. So she doesn't call me. And I email my ex and I ask her, hey, look, where's the kids? Give her a reminder. Um, and my son calls. And he says, oh, Dad, happy birthday. I'm like, oh, thank you, son. Like, how you doing? You having a good time at the beach? Blah, blah, blah. He's like, yeah, I'm having a great time. No problem. Excellent. Where's your sister? Oh, Layla's in the other room. Oh, okay. Well, is she okay? Yeah, she's fine. Okay. Well, um, okay. Well, I want you to have a good time. Tell your sister I love her. Give her a big hug. I'll see you when you come home. Yeah, Dad, no problem. So, no problem. So she was supposed to drop the kids off that following Monday. Sunday was the day that we were going to do the normal exchange, but she was going to drop them off Monday because she was driving and traveling, and I told her that was no big deal. Well, she calls me on Monday, a couple hours before she was supposed to drop me off, and said, hey, there's a big storm, blah, blah, blah. She's texting me, hey, there's a big storm, can't make it, da, 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 da. Okay. So I'm like, okay, and so then the next day, the following day, she does the same thing, okay? And let's put a pause here. I skipped over something major, okay? So the day that she gets them back from the initial spanking, late at night on that Sunday, I get a phone call from the police at like 10 o'clock at night. And they tell me that they leave a voicemail and they just say that there was an incident with your daughter. That was it. So I'm frantic. I got a missed call. I call back. Nobody answers. I call and I text Tasha. She doesn't respond. Okay. I'm staying up. I got multiple phone calls to the police department, and they're all giving me the runaround, telling me, oh, the detective will call you. Oh, the sergeant will call you. Oh, the police officer on duty will call you. Blah, blah, blah. I gets nothing. Okay? I gets nothing. So come around 7 o'clock in the morning, I get a text message from my ex, and she says, well, if you want to know something, call the police. Now, I wasn't angry about anything. I was just concerned. So all my text messages were concerning text messages. Is everything okay? I just got a phone call from the police. Hey, call me back. Like, what's going on? Are you okay? Right? Like, is everybody okay? Because I just got a call from the police telling me that things are not okay. Right? So ease my mind and just let me know that you guys are alive. Right? Because nobody's responded back. The police finally reached out to me at around, I don't know, 10 o'clock. No, I would say mid-afternoon, maybe around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And they told me that there was an incident with a spanking, blah, blah, blah. So I told them what happened. They said, okay, that's understandable. Well, no charges are going to be filed. And, it just sounds like, in Arizona, you can spank your kid. And I said, okay, well, I spanked her. I disciplined her. She was playing out in the streets, blah, 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 No problem. So I get off the phone with him, and like 45 minutes to an hour and a half later, he calls me back and he says, well, there's charges going to be pressed. Mom is trying to press charges, right? I talked to my sergeant. He didn't say mom was going to press charges. He said, I talked to my sergeant, and we have to do an investigation because it was a minor. I said, okay, I don't have anything to hide. So they said, no problem. We'll be in touch. So I text mom, tell her what happened. No response. So I was just like, whatever. That was on Monday. Okay. And then she goes out of town. Okay. So fast forward. So she's out of town. My birthday is on Friday. And my daughter doesn't call me. And my daughter doesn't reach out to me, which is extremely unlike her. Okay. My daughter has always reached out to me on my birthday, and she's always tried to spend her birthday with me because she knows that dad does not really celebrate his own birthday. So, which was very strange that she didn't contact me. But no problem. They were busy. They were out of town, whatever. But my son hits me up. My son calls me and he's like, "Happy birthday, Dad. Just want to let you know happy birthday." I'm like, "Great, how is the beach? You know, beach is fine. Beach is fine." And that's my baby girl. And he says, "Okay, it is 11. All right." So my baby girl is texting me. Hold up.